In the heart of Europe lies an exceptional country that offers a genuine medieval atmosphere unlike any other European nation. This country is the Czech Republic, also known as Czechia. With a population of about 11 million, it is a landlocked nation neighboring several European countries. To the west lies Germany, one of the most developed European countries, while Slovakia and Austria border it to the south. Poland is to the north. The relatively small area of 78,000 square kilometers makes the Czech Republic, especially its capital, easy to explore. The capital, which many of us know, is the vibrant city of Prague. Located in the northern interior of the country, Prague is the first stop for almost everyone visiting the Czech Republic. Like many landlocked cities, Prague is beautifully built along a river, specifically the Vltava River. This 430-kilometer-long river is unique for flowing from south to north, a rare characteristic among rivers. The Czechs have constructed such a beautiful capital around this river that a bird's-eye view of the city reveals a stunning blend of historical and modern buildings. The winding river and lush green spaces, all coming together to create a scene reminiscent of a masterful work of art. We can clearly see that life in Prague primarily revolves around the eastern side of the river. The historic Old Town area, national museums, and the iconic dancing house are all conveniently located on the river's bustling eastern side. The western side of the river, on the other hand, is home to modern office buildings and residential areas where many locals live. For instance, Prague is divided into various zones like Prague 1, Prague 2, and Prague 5, and you can easily travel from one end of the city to the other in just a few minutes by metro. No matter which metro line you take, you won't find overwhelming crowds that make travel uncomfortable. Metros arrive every 10 minutes, allowing for comfortable and speedy travel across the city. When using the metro, it's important to remember to stand on the right side of the escalators. Those in a hurry use the left side to quickly enter or exit the metro. Blocking the left side is considered rude and inconsiderate, as it hinders the flow of people in a rush. Moreover, unlike in many European countries, you won't find ticketed turnstile systems in Czech metros. However, you still need to buy tickets from machines at the entrance. Don't worry, transportation is quite affordable for a European city. The Czechs use their currency, the Czech koruna, and a metro ticket costs 20 korunas, which is slightly less than €1. For example, 100 Czech korunas equal about €4. If you use the metro without a ticket and are caught by a security officer, you could be fined up to €50, which might bring tears to your eyes. Besides the metro, taxis are another option for getting around Prague, but be cautious. Both Uber and other taxi companies operate in the Czech Republic. However, taxis not affiliated with any company might charge you exorbitant fares. For example, if you take an unknown taxi from the airport to the city center, you could end up paying at least €50 for a roughly 15-kilometer trip. Therefore, always check the fare to your destination before getting into a taxi, or opt for reliable and affordable services like Uber. In Prague, one of the most commonly used and affordable transportation methods within the city is the tram system. Trams are at the heart of public transport in many European countries, and Prague is no exception. The Czechs have built tram tracks on nearly every street, allowing people to travel comfortably and inexpensively across both sides of the river and for shorter distances within the city. The frequency of trams passing through any given point is quite high, making them a reliable mode of transportation. Due to the extensive tram network, many overhead cables are visible throughout the city, but these are designed in a modern way and do not strain the eyes when you look up. Trams share the streets with cars and they have the right of way. If you are driving in the Czech Republic, you must not obstruct tram routes and should always yield to them. While waiting at tram stops, people often spend their time reading books, which reflects the high level of education among the Czechs. As you may know, the primary language spoken in the Czech Republic is Czech, which is closely related to Slovak. Czech is considered one of the more difficult languages to learn. Looking at recent statistics on education, it is clear that the Czech Republic has one of the highest educational standards in the world. Around 90% of the population has completed secondary education, and 99% of the population is literate. This places the Czech Republic among the top countries globally in terms of education levels. The well-preserved architecture in Prague is a clear indication that the city was largely spared from significant damage during recent world wars. At every corner you can encounter different styles of magnificent architecture, showcasing a rich history alongside modern-looking people who add a contemporary flair to the city. Czechs typically have fair skin and light-colored eyes, a testament to their diverse ancestry, which includes Celtic, Germanic, and Southern Slavic peoples. After the collapse of the Austro-Hungarian Empire, the Czechs and Slovaks united to form the nation of Czechoslovakia. In 1992, Slovakia sought independence and the country split peacefully without conflict. Since January 1, 1993, the current state has been officially known as the Czech Republic, which joined NATO in 1999 and became a member of the European Union in 2004, marking its integration into the Western political and economic sphere. The Czech flag is also notable for its beauty, featuring red, white, and blue colors. Initially, the flag consisted of horizontal white and red stripes, identical to the Polish flag. Over time, a blue triangle was added to the left side, symbolizing the Slavs and Moravia. This flag was later adopted by Czechoslovakia. After Slovakia's independence, the flag was not initially intended for further use, but today, the Czech Republic has re-adopted it as their national flag. The colors of the flag symbolize various virtues such as honesty, loyalty, justice, and peace. If you're planning to visit the Czech Republic, it's important to be cautious about some aspects beyond just taxis. For example, exchanging your euros for Czech koruna at the airport can be a significant mistake that many travelers unfortunately make. The exchange rate offered at airport currency exchange offices is often much lower than it should be, leading to substantial financial loss. This issue is not limited to the airport. Many currency exchange offices in Prague also offer poor rates, despite prominently advertising no commission fees. For instance, while 100 euros should get you approximately 2,500 Czech korunas, these offices might give you only 2,000 or 2,200 Czech korunas, meaning you could lose around 12 to 15 euros due to the unfavorable exchange rates they offer. Similarly, using ATMs from companies like Euronet can result in poor exchange rates, with up to 20% of your money lost to hidden fees and commissions. These ATMs also detract from the authentic medieval ambience of the city, further adding to the reasons why they should be avoided. As a result, the Czech Republic's decision to use its own currency instead of the euro can lead to visitors losing money through unfavorable exchange rates at ATMs and currency exchange offices. In addition to currency exchange concerns, it's also worth noting that the weather in European countries, including the Czech Republic, can be quite unpredictable even during the summer months. Despite being in the Northern Hemisphere's warmest period, specifically June, July, and August, the weather can still be unexpectedly rainy or cold. You might notice locals wearing long-sleeved clothing and light jackets, even in summer due to the cool and rainy conditions that can suddenly arise. This unpredictable weather is one reason why many Europeans often travel to warmer, more consistent climates in countries like Greece and Turkey for their summer vacations, where they can enjoy reliably sunny weather and higher temperatures. These destinations provide the consistent warmth and sunshine that might be lacking in their home countries during the summer months. For those moving to the Czech Republic and looking for initial job opportunities, companies like Wolt offer courier positions. In the Czech Republic, couriers often use bicycles for deliveries, earning around 1,000 euros per month. These couriers are a common sight in Prague. Currently, the minimum monthly income for a person working 40 hours a week is about 19,000 Czech korunas, roughly equivalent to 750 euros. However, local research suggests that average gross monthly salaries in the Czech Republic can easily reach 40,000 Czech korunas, which is approximately 1,600 euros. Considering that income taxes in the Czech Republic can range from 15% to 23%, even professionals with specialized skills may only net between 2,000 to 3,000 euros per month after taxes. While these amounts might seem quite attractive when converted to other currencies, living and spending in the Czech Republic on these earnings does not necessarily translate to a luxurious lifestyle. For instance, looking at current rental prices for apartments in Prague, if you share a flat with multiple people, you might pay around 8,000 Czech korunas per month, which is relatively affordable. However, renting a 40 square meter or larger 1 or 2 bedroom apartment can cost around 25,000 Czech korunas per month, which is close to 1,000 euros. This means that even though Prague is relatively more affordable compared to some other major European cities, renting an entire small apartment can consume a significant portion of your salary, making it clear that living in Prague is not particularly cheap and can be financially challenging for many residents. Even though the people there may appear positive and happy in terms of facial expressions and physical appearance, they might be living with economic concerns. Nonetheless, when you make eye contact with anyone, even if you don't know them, they won't hesitate to greet you, pose for your camera, and smile. Additionally, the fact that most people under the age of 25 have a lot of tattoos points to another detail. Czech youth seem to love having marginal, unconventional appearances. As you walk down the street, the likelihood of seeing a tattoo on 1 out of every 3 people is quite high. They may feel free in this way. After all, the Czech Republic is a country where almost everything is allowed, and people's lifestyles are not interfered with. Here, people can gamble, smoke marijuana, or shape their bodies as they wish. There are even people dressed so oddly that they make others turn their heads for a second look. Regarding the country, another reality is that the Czech Republic is one of the most atheistic countries in both the world and Europe. According to some research, 91% of young people between age 16 and 29 are atheists, a rate even higher than in countries like Estonia and Sweden. Other studies indicate that 40% of the total population in the Czech Republic does not believe in any deity. The remaining percentage includes 30% who do not publicly state their religious beliefs and do not want to talk about religious matters. Those who are religious are mostly Christians and Catholics. Many attribute the high rate of atheism and lack of religious belief among Czechs to the impact of the communist regime after Czechoslovakia was occupied by the Soviets. Remember that in similar regions, leaders in countries like Albania, where the communist regime was dominant, also banned religious beliefs and clichés. In the Czech Republic, people were distanced from religion during that period. Over the years, this situation became a habit and a life philosophy among the Czech society, leading people to prefer a life detached from religion and belief. This situation has been passed down to new generations, and there is no religious dominance in the country. Therefore, it is harder to gain influence over a Czech person through religious values than to catch a fly with your mouth. There is a surprising fact about the Czech Republic. Along with Hungary, it is one of the largest producers of adult films in Europe. With a population of just 10.5 million, which is less than 1% of the world's population, this country is home to 13% of the global adult film industry. According to a study conducted in 2019, the country, along with Hungary, is Europe's leading producer of adult content films. For example, while walking around the capital city of Prague, you might unknowingly come across someone who is a well-known star in the adult film industry. If you live there for a while, you will likely find that someone in your circle of acquaintances is involved in this industry as an actor, producer, or cameraman. The question of how and why the Czech Republic chose to grow in this industry despite its small population is intriguing. Despite offering a relatively high quality of life compared to many countries, Czech women are open to entering this industry and continuing their lives this way. Furthermore, Czech stars are not only prominent within Europe, but are also exported to other active regions in this sector, such as the United States. When you talk to local Czechs about this topic, they attribute it primarily to the pursuit of easy money. Czech women become stars in the adult film industry by their own choice, without any coercion, purely for quick and easy financial gain. However, these topics are rarely discussed publicly in the Czech Republic. In fact, many tourists visiting the country are unaware that it is one of the top producers in this sector globally. Putting aside this lesser-known aspect of the Czech Republic, there are other more ordinary details about the country. For example, the people here are not particularly interested in football or basketball. Typically, if a country is not passionate about football, it tends to excel in basketball, as seen in countries like Serbia and Lithuania. Similarly, in the US, basketball is very popular while football is less so. However, this is not the case in the Czech Republic. The country is a fervent fan of ice hockey. The Czech men's national ice hockey team is one of the strongest teams globally, and many successful players in various international ice hockey leagues are of Czech origin, such as Jaromír Jágr. The Czech Ice Hockey League, held from September to April, consists of 14 professional teams and captures the entire country's attention. The Czech Republic is not only known for its adult film stars and ice hockey, the country has also made significant contributions to science. For example, vision impairment is common, affecting 1 in 5 people. A Czech chemist invented contact lenses, offering a solution for many who prefer not to wear glasses. Additionally, Johann Mendel, a key figure in the laws of genetic inheritance, was a scientist born and raised in this region, making substantial contributions to genetics. You might also have heard of Franz Kafka, who was actually Bohemian, meaning he was Czech. Those who are into literature and avid readers are likely familiar with his quotes and life philosophy. Kafka once produced works focusing on social issues, societal ostracization, and ethnic identity separations. Additionally, the word robot was first used in the Czech Republic and entered the world's vocabulary. A Czech writer used the term robot in a play to describe a soulless creature that could perform all the tasks humans didn't want to do, thus introducing it to the world. If you visit the Czech Republic and Prague, it's worth noting that the world's narrowest street is located in this charming country. The street is so incredibly narrow that traffic lights are installed at its entrance to manage pedestrian flow, and it can be found in Malá Strana, Prague's oldest and most picturesque district. This unique street is about 10 meters long and less than 1 meter wide, measuring just 48 centimeters at its narrowest point. To pass through this extremely tight space, you must follow the traffic lights, as there is only enough room for one person at a time. The street is essentially a narrow staircase leading to a cozy restaurant, making it impossible for 2 people to walk side by side within it. This quirky and fascinating street adds to the unique charm and character of Prague, making it a must-see for visitors. Another significant point of interest is that Prague hosts the largest Jewish quarter in Europe. Located in the very center of Prague, this historic quarter is steeped in many intriguing legends and stories. It is said that during World War II, Adolf Hitler intended to create a museum for an extinct race, and thus never harmed the Jewish quarter in Prague, placing it under his protection. Many people believe this legend, noting that the Nazis never entered or bombed this area or any part of Prague during the war. As a result, everywhere you look in Prague, it exudes a preserved historical atmosphere that transports visitors back in time. One of the most important things to know about Czech culture and culinary preferences is that they are true mushroom enthusiasts. It might seem unbelievable, but in the Czech Republic, a family collects 8 kilograms of mushrooms from nature each year. If you see people gathering in the country's national parks, forests, and green parks, it's likely they are foraging for mushrooms. Mushrooms are known as the poor man's meat in the Czech Republic, and those who cannot afford meat go to the mountains and forests to add mushrooms to almost every meal. Soups and stews are prime examples of this. The country has 35 types of edible mushrooms, and the Czechs know which ones are tasty and safe better than many others outside the Czech Republic. On the other hand, there are a significant number of beggars in Prague, especially in tourist areas. The difference between beggars in this country and those in other countries is that they ask for help by bowing their heads to the ground. The biggest friends of the homeless and beggars in the Czech Republic are their dogs, which never leave their side. Most of the beggars are men and middle-aged. They all use similar body language to ask for a few crowns from you. However, despite the abundance of tourists, No one tries to forcefully take money from tourists. Whether or not you give them money is up to you. The Czech Republic is one of the safest countries you can visit in Europe. Various sources even list it among the top 10 safest countries in Europe. In the capital Prague, police patrols are almost symbolic, and you rarely see officers intervening with anyone other than drunkards. Some patrol cars even have no police officers in them. On the other hand, in the Czech Republic, it's not just the architecture that stands out. The development of the roads, their modern image, and the minimal amount of litter also elevate the pleasure you will get from this country to the highest levels. No matter how many side streets you wander in the Czech Republic, encountering a large pile of garbage is a very slim chance. Especially since Prague, the capital city, is a major tourist attraction. Every street, park, and area around every museum is maintained with great cleanliness. Streets are cleaned by municipal workers, and shop owners start their day by cleaning their stores early in the morning. Such clean streets in a beautiful city naturally deserve to be graced by luxurious and modern cars. You might know that the Skoda brand is an automobile company belonging to the Czechs, perhaps the most globally recognized brand value they possess. For instance, Avast antivirus is also Czech-owned, but it is not as popular as Skoda. Although Skoda operates under the German Volkswagen company, it remains a symbolically Czech brand. This is why the most common car brand you will see on the streets of Prague is undoubtedly Skoda. This brand often stands out with its SUV model, Kodiaq. In Prague, whether people drive Skoda or other brands, they typically own high-model cars. Almost all the vehicles you see on the road are newer than 2020, and most of them are Skoda and other German brands. One of the most iconic modern designs in the Czech Republic might be the Dancing House. For France, the Eiffel Tower holds a similar meaning as this building does for the Czech Republic. Constructed between 1994 and 1996, this structure consists of two main bodies. The first body is a glass tower supported by inclined columns. The second body has a wavy structure that runs parallel to the river. This design gives the impression of a dancing building, making it seem as if the building is moving. Inside the building, you'll find cafes and restaurants. Other significant places you must see in Prague include the Old Town Square, Prague Castle, Charles Bridge, and the astronomical clock in the Old Town area. Especially, the astronomical clock puts on a show for passers-by every hour. According to legend, Hannes, the craftsman who made the clock, created a sensation with his work. When other kings wanted the clock, the Czech king blinded the craftsman to prevent him from making another. The craftsman then committed suicide by throwing himself from the top of the clock, but not before sabotaging it. It is said that the clock couldn't be repaired by anyone for 50 years. To depict this story, a bell rings and a ceremony takes place at the heart of Prague every hour. Apart from this, people who are bored and want to have fun in the central square seem to have found their own ways to entertain themselves. Confident and fun-loving people enjoy themselves in such a manner. At another important symbol of Prague, the Charles Bridge, you are greeted by numerous statues. This bridge connects the old town with Prague Castle. It is said that until 1741, this bridge was the only crossing point over the Vltava River. All the other bridges you see in Prague were built after the Charles Bridge. When the statues of significant figures on the bridge began to deteriorate, the originals were moved to the National Museum and replicas were placed on the bridge. Similarly, the intricate carvings on the astronomical clock were continuously replaced with replicas over the years due to wear and tear from precipitation. The bridge is extremely popular and many artists conduct commercial activities there. Some claim to draw your realistic portrait and do so. Others prefer to draw fun caricature portraits of you. They charge around 50 euros for this service. Some people on the bridge prefer to perform general shows and expect donations from you, like this musician and similar performers. In Prague, every historical symbol you see is not necessarily an exact original. Many have been replaced with carefully crafted replicas to preserve the city's rich history. The largest tourist demographic aside from Czechs includes a significant number of Asian and Arab tourists. At every major tourist spot, you can easily encounter groups of Arabs, Koreans, or Japanese tourists exploring the city's attractions. Arabs typically visit the country independently, enjoying the sights at their own pace, while tourists from other nations often follow a tour guide, gaining structured insights into the city's history and culture. Those who come to work in Prague are usually from countries like the Philippines, India, and Bangladesh, contributing to the city's diverse and vibrant workforce. There is another location in the capital, Prague, that people are sure to visit, and that is the Lenin Wall. This wall is, so to speak, the most famous wall in Prague, the capital of Czechia. John Lennon, the legendary member of a music band, was shot and died in 1980. Since then, this wall has been memorialized with graffiti poems in Lennon's memory, expressing the love for him. Visitors coming to the country take photos in front of this wall. One of the most noticeable features in Prague is the cannabis shops. There is a cannabis shop almost every 100 meters, giving Prague a bit of a Dutch atmosphere. It seems that cannabis use is legal to some extent, and commercial shops have opened to sell these products. Various types of products are sold in these stores, and they generally do not allow you to film inside. Tourists show a great deal of interest in these shops. Some local Czech citizens claim that the products in these stores are a scam for tourists and do not have the relaxing effects they advertise. For example, research shows that THC is the primary psychoactive compound in cannabis products. When you ask if these products contain THC, you often receive evasive answers, suggesting that the products may indeed be a tourist trap. Speaking of Prague and the Czech Republic, let's talk about what you can eat while you're there. For instance, there is a popular Czech fast food chain called Bagateri Boulevard. Visitors to the country can find branches of this chain at various points throughout the city, offering very tasty and affordable sandwiches that cater to a variety of tastes. You can customize these sandwiches by choosing the type of meat and bread, allowing for a personalized dining experience. The cheese they use has a unique, wonderful flavor that sets their sandwiches apart from others. If you want a quick and cheap taste of Prague, this delightful eatery should be one of your first choices. It provides a convenient and satisfying option for those looking to enjoy a delicious meal without spending too much time or money, making it an ideal stop for both tourists and locals alike. It is also worth noting that even if you eat at most fast food and restaurant chains in the country, the toilets are usually paid. They have turnstile systems where you pay 20 Czech crowns, which is about €1, to use the toilets. Even well-known chains like McDonald's have adopted this system. In some places, you can enter the toilets for free using a code on your receipt. Visitors to the Czech Republic will undoubtedly notice a popular sweet treat called trdelník. This delightful dessert can also be found in other European countries under different names, but it retains its unique appeal. It looks quite appetizing and intriguing to visitors from outside Europe, who are often drawn to its eye-catching appearance. Trdelník is a sweet pastry made from dough wrapped around a stick, then coated with sugar, and often filled with delicious ingredients such as nuts, cream, or ice cream. Some may find it reminiscent of an ice cream cone due to its shape and presentation. According to the locals, it is not a traditional Czech dessert, but rather a treat adopted from neighboring countries. However, shops in Prague sell it under the guise of a traditional treat, and judging by the constant crowds at these shops, this clever marketing tactic seems to be quite successful. The city is full of these sweet shops, as well as numerous currency exchange offices and cannabis/tobacco shops, creating a diverse and vibrant commercial atmosphere. Both tourists and locals pay special attention to sweet shops. While exploring, you can easily enter any sweet shop and get lost among the various confections. There are many sweet shops in Prague, and the smell of sweets can become overwhelming after a while. The Czech Republic is also one of the top 5 countries in Europe for beer consumption. If there's something cheaper than water in the Czech Republic, it's probably beer. Almost every cafe and restaurant offers a variety of beers. Prices vary according to the alcohol content and the size of the glass. While there, you can find a Czech beer for as little as €1 at a roadside cafe. In conclusion, the Czech Republic and Prague are among the top places to visit for those who want to experience a medieval European atmosphere in the 21st century. The country offers a safe and comfortable environment for everyone. The people are beautiful, open to conversation and well-groomed. No matter why you visit, you'll always find an option that fits your needs and budget. If you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe to the channel. Goodbye.